One dig wine. We're in the time of year when Burgundy. Well, I don't know why I keep saying that because it doesn't matter what time of year it is. I quite enjoy opening bottles of Burgundy. Start with the first one here. What do we got in the glass? Look at that color. What I think is very impressive about this is how it still almost has a greenish tinge to it. It almost has a youthful kind of feel to it, as if it hasn't advanced very much at all. A bit smoky and a bit exotic. The fruit is exotic. I've tasted this now, and there's a very, very ripe sort of seam of black tarry licorice going through this. It also has a lifted mint, sort of cooling things around the edges and everything. It's absolutely delicious. And the primary fruit in this, I ended up at Asian pears. They're sweet and maybe pear-like, but not as acidic or, you know, sort of piercing as a traditional pear. There is a lemon drop quality to this as well. It's very soft. It's very light, quite delicate. Surprisingly so. At the same time, it isn't. It's a trickster, it's a huckster. Not a huckster, a trickster. Comes in softly, gently, introduces itself, comes back out, folding over in waves. Re-announcing itself over and over and over. It's good firm acidity without, you know, being disruptive in any way. It is mineral, not overly so, I would say. It has a dustiness, a tannin kind of quality to it. I think this wine is another one that is still young and still has not reached where it is intended to go. It is a Corton Charlemagne Grand Cru from Antonin, Domaine Antonin Guyot. In the French guidebook, they're a very high quality producer. They're 2-star, so I mean, it's a 3-star system. I saw this at auction. It's in 2008, of course. The price was right. And, you know, I haven't had Corton Charlemagne in ages. Now, would I have blind pegged this as a Corton Charlemagne? The answer there is an absolute no. I think it's my fault. It's more just not having enough experience with it. With the licorice, you could end up in a lot of other places here. But of course, there's lots to say that it's Chardonnay and lots to suggest that it's Grand Cru as well. Matter of fact, I don't think there's any debate about that. It is a solid Grand Cru. It's quite delicious. It's a little bit severe. I think a little joyless at the moment, you know, it's not really singing. I think there's a couple things going on here. One of them is that it needs to be open a little longer. That could be it. Number 2, I don't think it's anywhere near its apogee. It has lots of room to grow. And if I saw it again, I would buy it. There's still some ways to go before it sort of hits its cruising altitude. This is the kind of wine that you would like to have a case of. And to pop every once in a while, because there's still a youthfulness to this. It's a Grand Cru that's got a youthful sort of disposition about it. I'm gonna keep my eyes open for this producer in both white and red. I wanna try some red ones now. They have some Grand Cru. So, I mean, why not? Second wine. Here, I'm not too sure if you can see this color, but we're into the color of very, it's bricked. It's basically orange. On the nose, there's a lot of pepper and super sweet stewed strawberry. A strawberry gets. There's a bit of tannin. It lacks a sort of superstructure. Comes in, it doesn't really sort of set up a scaffolding and start building an experience for you. It more likely comes in and tries to influence how you're going to think about it by sitting there in the background and gently nudging you. Even then, though, I would say it's not a hugely persistent wine. This is not a Grand Cru, and I don't think you'd ever be fooled that it was. And at the same time, there's some tobacco and leather in here and a bit of a menthol lift. You know, the menthol lift of leaves, dead leaves they're wet, they're glistening with the rain, they're on the ground. It's just cool enough that the smell of them sort of lingers in the air and sort of has a refreshing lift to them. And then that beautiful strawberry flavor. What it does miss is drive. The acidity is a bit toned down, and even the tannins are in check. They're fully resolved. No need to keep them. No need to chase them. But what a nice thing to open, just to have. And this is a 1978 Volnay Le Caillerets Premier Cru Caillerets from Henri Boillot. A couple things about this bottle, why this bottle is in this room at this time. 1978, goes without saying, one of the great vintages of Burgundy. Number 2, Le Caillerets is one of the stronger Volnays, has some aging capability. And in number 3, Henri Boillot. I've never tried his red wines. Had to try it. Had to try it, especially when 1978 comes up at auction at a reasonable price. I'm in all the way. And you know, you get corks like that. They're soaked all the way up and then have the imprint from the foil in the top of the cork. Beautiful. They're heavy, you know, they're kind of like solid corks in those days. They're wine soaked and it's not crumbling apart or anything. If I had a better corkscrew, it would have been one piece. Of course, there was pieces to this because incoming rant. I've been looking for this now, a corkscrew that has more than five or six screws. I don't understand why they have to be so short. Okay, you want them to fit in your pocket. I'm a waiter, I understand. And you're probably popping younger wines anyway. To have at home, I want a long one. I mean, I want one that I can take all the way down the whole length of the cork. These, they always end up leaving a bit towards the end. Doesn't matter how careful I am. So, I mean, I'm pretty adept at getting everything, but it's a real pain in the butt. I want to invent a corkscrew that has more than 6 screws, but then I'm not an engineer, and there's probably some engineering reason why you can't have more. Maybe you can't have it with the leverage. I've seen some videos of people that use this, the waiter's corkscrew, to just kind of lift up partially the cork out and then screw the long one in all the way through and then gently sort of pry it out. I've seen the assaut. I don't like it. I can't use it. And then I see this other one that's a combination of the corkscrew with the assaut. It's quite famous. They're super expensive for some reason, but it doesn't seem like there's any reason for it to be as expensive as it is. Expense aside, I haven't tried it, so I don't know. Anyway, back to aged Burgundy. It's almost pure strawberry. It is lovely. It is lovely. It's an easy drinker. There's no sign of it going over the deep end or falling apart, anything like that. So I think what'll be interesting about this wine is what happens in a couple of hours, because I'm going to have it open for a few hours. I might even have it open, some of it open overnight. If I had to pick between the two, if I was going to buy a case of either one of these, I would actually buy a case of the Corton Charlemagne. I think it does have Grand Cru class. I think the Boillot is an interesting wine to open for people who like older Burgundies. I bought 2 bottles, and then this one was a bit low, and the other one is a little bit higher up. Doesn't mean anything, but we shall see. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Stay thirsty.